Hope is necessary now, because we are facing one of the biggest hoedowns between good and evil in the history of this planet. The present system is hanging by a thread, and its collapse is inevitable. We must have a viable alternative response, but most importantly, we must prepare.
Now, this is the main thing that we all need to worry about. How do I feed myself and my family? Because the answer is simple. It's find a set of skills and possess something tangible. Yet even in this desperate scenario lies the path to victory. As the collapse takes its toll on society and the electorate's mindset revolutionises, they will all want anything but the status quo. They will want anything but the mess we're in. They will want anything but this.
The key for Náisiúnta is to inspire, not to merely inspire the youth to be engaged with nationalism, but to also defend the ancient glory of the Gael, so we can move forward with our national identity, our national heritage, and the national party. There is no hiding the fact that 2020 and 2021 have been for the most part an age of lockdowns, or in other words, as our Cianra so simply put, house arrest. We also note that the house arrest we've been subject to has had a demoralising knock-on effect on the nation, and to be more specific, on young Irish men. Men who see no future and are added to the debts of despair list that is ever so growing and done away with come New Year. The very way in which parasitic bureaucrats wash their hands of any blood that they have shed, a tragedy that they so ignore, a crime that they so commit. The answer to this massacre of the young lad is through the national idea.
As the National Party, as the vanguard of nationalism on this island, we will continue to march forward defiantly in the face of what can only be described as absolute evil, and we will not stop until our people, the Irish people, are put forth at every opportunity, and to hell to whatever anti-Irish mouthpiece that says we can't.
The Western world is enmeshed in the tentacles of the debt system and is sinking under the weight of unsustainable debt, much of it fictitious debt. This has been brought about by the fraudulent fiat money system that's based on the fraudulent fractional reserve lending system that has been exacerbated by quantitative easing money printing by central banks like the Federal Reserve, like the European Central Bank, like the Bank of England, like the Bank of Japan, and these central banks that use the expanding volume of money to feed the avaricious banksters by augmenting the supply of credit, creating credit bubbles and pushing up share prices for bigger companies listed in the stock exchanges, because that's what it's all about. It's a gigantic insider operation.
We do not know whether there will be a lockdown again this winter. It will be difficult from a public relations aspect to turn it around before October the 22nd, but who knows? If they don't have a lockdown, then we will have the consequences in terms of the collapse of the economic system. Because one of the key elements that is missing thus far with quantitative easing and fractional reserve and so forth has been the velocity of money. The lockdowns were never about a virus. They were about economics. They always are about economics. Follow the money. Follow the money. And if the lockdown is lifted, the velocity of money, which is the exchange, the speed at which it is exchanged from one person to another, will rapidly speed up. And that's what the lockdown was determined not to do. And the question is whether they will let loose this storm this winter or whether they will play it out into next year. But either way, we have to be ready.
Only the National Party stand for the intergenerational cause of Irish freedom and of the ownership of the wealth and resources of Ireland belonging to the people of Ireland, as declared in the 1916 proclamation that guarantees private property ownership to the many and not to the few.